What's the dirt? Is Badu's.
All I'm trying to say is I'm giving you a gift of Badu incense, and I want everyone to enjoy it. And I enjoy making them, and I enjoy sharing them.
And you said, but you didn't make it.
Make what?
Make it like.
I made the incense, but I didn't make the legend. The legend made itself.
So the big question was, without being crude, how is it made? How did the smell come about?
How did the smell come about? Well, most guys say that my vagina smells like strawberries and gunpowder.
The thing that gets me about like these sorts of channels, like these Drake hate channels, is like a lot of these guys have really tried to position themselves as being the voice of the culture, like being the real. We are the ones who are representing the culture in the right way. We are the gatekeepers. We are the authentic version of the culture. But when you look at their channels, they're not doing anything positive for the culture. They're literally some of the most toxic people in the space. Like this channel, for example, constantly calls out Akademiks when he's basically doing the same thing himself. There's a bunch of these channels that live for negative articles or news about Drake. Here's another one, another cultural crusader, right? Drake is selling OVO because he's broke. Drake hates women. Drake doesn't want respect. He wants to be desired. Do you guys feel like this is benefiting hip-hop culture? Do you think this is making a change? Do you think this is positive? Do you think this is moving the genre forward? Do you think this is helping? Then there's people like Glasses Malone, who's covering a lawsuit against Drake's OVO clothing company. Absolutely nothing to do with hip-hop music or pushing the culture forward. In fact, you think a lot of these guys, if they did care that much about the culture, that they would kind of look in the mirror and say, damn, maybe we're doing more harm than good. Maybe waking up every day and spreading hate against one man isn't actually doing anything for hip-hop. Maybe, just maybe, we're part of the problem. And look, I'm just speaking facts. In many ways, these types of channels are even worse for hip-hop because they only focus on hating one man. Zero passion or care goes into this content. Like, in reality, the biggest haters and the most toxic YouTube channels on the entire internet are pro-Kendrick channels. They're some of the most toxic people in the space. They're some of the worst people in the space, and that's just a fact. And this is how I know a lot of these people don't really care about the culture like that, because if they did, they would recognize what they're doing isn't doing anything beneficial. In fact, they're making it worse. Day by day, video by video, they're contributing to the negativity. They're contributing to the hate. They're quite literally some of the most negative voices and toxic people in the space, bar none. What I'm saying is common sense, right? Like, if you really care about the culture as much as you say you do, then you wouldn't be running a drama channel. You wouldn't be contributing to the toxicity in hip-hop. You wouldn't be spreading hate. You wouldn't be spreading negativity. That is 99% of these guys' channels. So no. None of these people are for the culture. I've said it for a long time. These people are for their bank accounts. They use the word culture because it's a great way to pull people in, but at the end of the day, none of these guys are for the culture, bro.
Lights up, mics up. Let's get them likes up. Hit that subscribe. Erykah Badu has a perfume and an incense fragrance line called Badu's. And that's what I think about what's the dirt. Erykah Badu's body part. What we're going to do right now is we're going to disavow this guy. We're done here. What's the dirt has no business speaking on our culture. He's done it one too many times. Homeboy, you are a documentarian. You document the culture. You do not decide what happens in it. You are not part of this. You are a Canadian guy, a Caucasian, that has nothing to do with what we got going on. You started to watch it, like our music, felt like you had a voice in here because you went on YouTube and made a channel. Homeboy, you're not this. You're not us. This has nothing to do with you. It doesn't give you a voice because you've amassed a bunch of followers by being a Drake dick rider, my guy. So what we're not going to do is listen to you about what we got going on over here. Right? You guys have a propaganda machine right now, all trying to make Drake the #1 Don Dada, this, that, and the third. It ain't going to happen, gang. Okay? The culture has decided this guy's not happening. It ain't working out. Okay, all them streams, I don't know who's listening to them because the culture ain't, somebody's listening to them, but it ain't us. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Now, you said that we're the gatekeepers gang. The reason that we are getting so much traction and you feel the need to address this is because low key, we are the gatekeepers. We're the only thing stopping you guys from running amok with all this Erykah Badu body part shit you're talking about. This is our culture, gang. We speak about things, we criticize things. We don't go around trying to hold hands and be kumbaya all day. That's not the culture. Okay, you're walking in here trying to tell us these guys don't do anything positive for the culture. They're always talking negative. Guess what? You're literally a voice box for Drake, and the only negative comments that you think we're making when they come about this guy. Okay, and guess what? He deserves every single comment he gets because he's doing dumb shit. You're sitting there talking about, oh, these guys make videos all day for their bottom line, their pockets. Okay, YouTube pays. And what? Okay, end of the day, we do this because we have voices and opinions about our culture and how it's being misused and misrepresented. You are over there, literally, you switch sides because you started doing content, the same kind of content we do. Okay, you had content pieces that were kind of fair and balanced. Like I said, you are a documentarian, but you were fair and balanced when you first got into this space. That's why you amassed so many followers so quickly. And then we all know what happened. You counted all the N-words that Drake said in one of those videos. The culture got mad at you. We kind of screamed on you and your feelings were hurt. You tucked your tail and ran for a while. You decided, okay, when I come back, I'm going to pick a side. Kendrick people would never accept me because I'm not like them, so I'm going to go all in heavy Drake side. But you forgot about the videos you did against Drake when you were just like us, right? Tried to hide that fact. Oh no, but you went and all of a sudden you're this super Drake advocate, only does Drake videos. You don't even make videos about anything else. You got a nerve to call us a Drake hate channel, so what are you? You're a Drake love channel? What are we talking about? End of the day, every time I see your content, it's a new angle on the same shit. Drake, Iceman, Drake. You'll do one video about Jay-Z, then go right back to Drake for 10 videos straight. Are you adding to the culture? Is that what you're calling the culture? Talking about Drake every single day, making videos about Drake, going live about Drake? Are you dead ass right now? Are you serious? Is this what you want the culture to be? Everybody worshiping and glazing this guy? We're not gonna do that, gang. Okay? You are Erykah's Badu's body part through and through. You're not gonna come from Canada, sitting up on high, coming down here telling us, you guys need to behave and be better. This not happening, my G. We're done listening to you. Simple fact of the matter. We know that there's a concerted effort to take me and other creators out so this guy could reign supreme with this goofy ass album that's doing nothing but getting a bunch of streams, and who the fuck is listening to it? I don't know nobody. Well, I know a couple people that's super hardcore fans, but outside of that, okay, I don't understand why you don't get it. This is not the culture. The stuff you're doing, sitting up every single day, thinking of new angles, new ways to make Drake sound interesting and cool. You're breaking down episodes that nobody likes. We don't understand it. We're not a part of what you got going on. You're sitting up in Canada thinking about Drake 24 hours a day. I don't know how you think you're media. I don't get this. Okay? And you might say, Challz, you do a lot of Drake videos. I do a lot of videos about a lot of people. I talk about Dame Dash. I talk about a lot of people. Okay? So end of the day, when we talk about Drake, it's usually because Drake did something dumb. And you guys want him to be the #1 rapper, most talked about artist in the world, but you don't want him to be criticized. And when you criticize, you got this new thing called Drake hate channels. You pointed out me, Big Zo, and others, right? Well, end of the day, every single video is something new that the guy did dumb. Okay? It's all day, everything. The only win the guy got was the Iceman, and that's questionable. Right? It's a lot of ways to question these numbers. Every single thing since the battle started, this guy has taken L after L after L. This is the first win he got. And he had you fools licking on ice and doing all kind of nonsense to get the win. Spending millions on it. Out of his own pocket. Akademiks already told us. And I guess what? Akademiks is love? So that side is love, and what do we? So we're the only hate on the internet. The people who talk about Drake, I guess that side is what they're just making air hearts and blowing kisses all day. You really gonna sit there and try to support Akademiks and these other channels that do 10 times worse? Akademiks goes live every day and spews nothing but unadulterated hate and anger. 9 times out of 10, we're talking about Drake. We ain't even mad. We're laughing. 9 times out of 10, we're laughing. We don't take this guy serious. You do, because somehow it's turned into some kind of grift for you. Not to mention, the guy lied to you last year. You had a whole video talking about they were going to do this, that, and the third in Iceman 3. They didn't do none of it. You were pissed. You said, I'll never report on anything they tell me again. But somehow, 2 or 3 days later, you were back in their good graces. But they straight up lied to you, said Iceman was going to have this, that, and the third. And you reported it. You know what happened, and I know what happened too. And you were devastated at the end of that life when Iceman 3 didn't have anything that they told you. They straight lied to you, but you're still here talking about Iceman is love and GNX is hate. Gang, you sound like a cornball. You're a clown, and you are Erykah Badu's body part through and through. You don't know nothing about what we got going on in this culture. Okay? We do what we want to do here because we created this culture. We do not need your approval. We do not need you to tell us, oh, you guys got to be a little bit nicer. Be nicer to Drake for what? For what? He's coming in this culture out of nowhere too. He's not raised in this and not born in this either. He had to learn how to be this. He had to be taught how to walk and act and talk like us. So he's not really in this shit either. He's in it by default because he learned to mimic the shit really good. Took a lot of records and made them his own. And took a lot of records from people that already had the records out. It became some of his big records. And you wanted to sit what and do what and glaze this guy? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So what's the dirt? I need you to understand. It's never going to. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. It ain't going to happen, gang. It ain't going to happen. We're never going to glaze this guy like you do. And you're talking about people doing stuff for money. You literally talk about this guy literally every single day. You make more videos about this guy than anybody on earth. For your budget, your bottom line. You just did a video that you got demonetized by UMG. You said it took you 10 months or however long it took you to make that video, and then it got demonetized. So you do this for money too. There's a lot more things I can get into you about what's the dirt, but I'm going to leave it there because a lot of people already know what's going on with you. So you keep making videos. We already had this conversation last year. Me and you already have a back and forth. I am blocked by you on Twitter, and you know that. Right? But then you use my video, you use my face and my content as the first video when these are Drake channel, these are Drake hate channels. Nobody hates this guy, but you want him to be talked about, so we talking about him. And when we talk about him, it ain't nice because not a lot of stuff he says and does ain't nice. He does a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He does a lot of subbing. He does a lot of clicking on videos that are subbing, and he's put a lot of the narratives out there. And most of the Iceman album is hate. He's dissing Dot, bringing up the battle, dissing everybody who went to the pop out, this, that, and the third. So most of the album is dark. He's always talking about some mob shit. He's going to get somebody ran down, this, that, and the third. Right? And you know that. But at the end of the day, you can't say that. You got to act like Iceman. You really came out your face and said Iceman is love and GNX is hate. How bonkers is that? It's absolutely asinine that you sit up here and you make a video about individuals hiding behind the word culture. You've been trying to destroy the word culture since 2 years ago. After you decided you were on that side of the thing, you made a video and I already checked you on that video. That's when you blocked me. You made a video. I came back with a video and said, you don't know what the hell we doing here. Because you try to say, we don't promote the music, we don't do this, that, and the third. I told you I got a second and a third channel that talks about music promotion of underground. And on my Twitter, we are not just YouTubers. We do Twitter, we do Facebook, we do Instagram, and on all of my other platforms, I promote crazy underground hip-hop shit. You don't understand that. My Twitter page is very pro-black, anti-police harassment, anti-MAGA. I talk about a lot of other shit than Drake. But the narrative is, you got to get us out of here by calling us Drake hate channels. Ain't nobody no Drake hate channel. We do a story on Drake, then we do a story on something else. It just so happens he the biggest dummy out here to do stories on. And yes, we make money off of him. But he makes money off of culture. He don't belong in, and you do too. Neither one of you understand this culture. For you to get on there and make a video talking about these guys don't add nothing to the culture. How? Why are people following us? Why are people watching these videos? Why are they clicking it? Why do you make the content about the culture you make? It all adds up. You're doing this just like we are because this is what people want to see. End of the day, most of the people that follow you and watch your content and think that you're good at what you do because you make very well produced documentaries about the culture. You don't add nothing to it. You just watch it and try to figure out a way to manipulate it and get your bag from it. You don't really bring nothing to the conversation. And for you to call these channels hate channels means you don't understand what we're doing. This is our opinion. It ain't hate, it's our opinion. We don't agree with the bubble bath rapping, the things that he does. We don't think you should make a lawsuit over a rap battle, which he did. We don't think you should lie about how much you got going on when you don't. And we don't think that your lifestyle is something we should be emulating and propping up at all times. Okay? It's a whole thing going over here in the black community in America, which you don't know nothing about, and you keep commenting on. You don't know nothing about the culture. It ain't your space. It ain't your place. It ain't your fight. It ain't nothing for you to decide what we're doing or what we're not doing. We get spicy over here. Sorry if that's too much for your Canadian sensibilities. We're a little tougher than you, gang. You're not going to understand it. Stop trying. You keep making these videos trying to say what we're doing wrong, this, that, and the third, and you keep using that word culture in a slanderous term. Your tone, your attitude, everything that you come is condescending to us. That's why we don't respect you. Most of them people following you ain't in the culture either. I'm just going to be honest. You've tapped into a world market that wants to see it. They want to get a peek into the culture, and you provide them these documentaries that can let them do so. And that's why you have 300 plus followers on your YouTube, and you keep documenting stuff. But you're not even documenting the culture no more. You're documenting Drake. You're like his personal photographer. You're his mouthpiece. That means you are disqualified to tell us what to do. You don't know nothing about what we got going on. You don't understand it. You think it's too mean. Then get the hell out of it then. Stop making videos about it. We're never going to stop talking about him or you or nobody else that we find needing to be talked about in this culture. Okay? At the end of the day, we're going to say what we feel because the culture is rebellious. We don't sit here and conform and try to act like we're nice and we're going to just be really calm and well thought out and only make solid points. Sometimes we're going to scream. Sometimes we're going to yell. Sometimes we're going to curse, my G. But this is our culture to do so. It ain't yours. It ain't for you to decide what we will and won't talk about. It ain't for you to say we need to be nicer to Drake or nobody else. Mind your business. Get your nose out of it. We're done with your ass. You're just a guy with a computer talking shit with a happy dad hat on. That's a goddamn MAGA fucking thing. A whole nother subject that we're not going to get into. Okay? You are not part of this. You don't have a say in this. You don't have a voice in this. The people clicking like on your shit are cornballs anyway, and they fucking don't have a voice either. Half of them don't know what the hell's going on in this culture either. Culture is not about billboard and streams, gang. That's what you don't understand. You're covering a guy who gets a lot of fugazi ass streams and nobody's buying the shit. Okay? End of the day. So we can have that conversation too. End of the day. So you stay on that side, we're gonna stay over here where we're at. You've been trying to tear this shit down for months. It ain't working. We know that the code red has been put out, destroy the content creators. We know that it hurts your feelings every time we talk about you or the bubble bath rapper and things in that zone. The loudest voice over there is Akademiks, who is super. You call us evil and this, that, and the third, gang. It's weird to see you say that and then go live stream with Akademiks. You live streamed with him about a week ago, a week or two, when the album was coming out, however long that was. So end of the day, I guess Akademiks is the culture. The guy that screams on everything and everybody but Drake. If it goes against Drake, then he's screaming on it. That's how the culture works. He's allowed to do it, but we ain't. Get out of here. That's not how this works. So going forward, we're going to do whatever we want to do. We're going to say whatever we want to say about anybody. We don't need your permission we don't need to give you no excuses, no reasons. Fuck out of here. If it's too strong, the content is too strong of a coffee for you, then don't drink it. If it make your belly hurt, then you need to probably go take a nap somewhere, gang. We're not soft over here. We're not Erykah Badu. Salute to Erykah Badu. We love Erykah Badu. But she made a perfume about her body part, and you seem to be that body part. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. The more you talk, the softer you sound. We don't really respect that over here, gang. I'm going to be honest. It's not. We're not about being soft and kinder and gentler, right? Even though we try to be professional, we try to tongue-in-cheek, try to hold a certain standard when we talk on these shows. We don't have to act like you. We don't have to try to mimic you or be like you in the slightest. You are not about this culture. That's why everybody clowns you and calls you the things they call you, because you don't belong here. And you show it every time you get on a microphone and try to speak on it. You don't run this shit. You never will, my G. All right? In the words of Will Smith, keep my name out your mouth. Keep our name out your fucking mouth, gang. I'm just going to be honest. This ain't for you. This ain't your place. It don't concern you. Make your documentaries about Drake. Glaze them. Do whatever you want. Get your money, right? Or don't, because they demonetizing half your shit because you're using UMG shit, this, that, and the third, right? But end of the day, this is our business. It doesn't concern you. You keep trying to make it your business, but it's not. You want him to be talked about where we're talking about him. In case you didn't know, he needs us to talk about him too, gang. I don't know if you know that. Okay? So on that note, What's the dirt? Your name literally embodies talking about negative shit. You were fine when we were okay with you. When we had a problem with a white guy counting N-words, that's when you switched up and decided to go, I'm going to go all the way white, and I'm just going to document Drake and act like everything is kumbaya. And I'm going to point and look down on those guys. We know where you get your marching orders. It ain't working, my G. I'm going to leave it at that, man. Listen, what's the dirt? We're done here. Every time I make a video about you, you come back with even sadder, talking about you're trying to destroy the work culture. It's never going to work. The culture ain't going nowhere. You might as well try a new tactic. Get in your Twitter space groups that you guys are forming, these Reddit, secret Reddit pages, and these damn Zoom calls that you guys are getting together, clicking up, trying to figure out how to stop us. You can't stop us. We ain't going nowhere. End of the day. All right? You linked up on the wrong side and stay over there. It is what it is. Okay? I believe it at that, man. I'm not responding to nothing you say about this. Don't even expect it. I don't need to talk about you anymore. All right? And if I have to, I will. But at this point in time, there's nothing else to say about you. All right? We're done here, Erica. Okay? Salute to Erica Badu. This ain't no disrespect to her. I'm just saying this guy is... I smell something. Listen, I'm out of here, man. Listen, head on over to black-yeti.com. Let them know who sent you. Okay? Every Wednesday night, we go live on the What Show. Me, TJ, and Flares. Tap in. I got a Patreon account. You can sign up for free. What's the dirt? Lock in, all right? End of the day, I'm out of here, man. I'm going to catch you on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine. Elevate your mind with high quality THC infused products. BlackYeti.com. Black-Yeti.com.
CLB.
Get my coat, get my sheepskin, grab my wallet, get my pocket knife, and get that hat right there. We out. Grab my pocket knife too. Let's go. When I first came to the city, niggas didn't believe me. I just wanted to join a team and throw assist pass easily. 6 man off the bench, alley-oop pass freely. Suit up for one game and hope a scout might see me. But nah, niggas is greedy, wasn't rocking with him. Unplugged the scoreboard, put a lock on the gym. Told me to power forward, point guard at the rim. And left me with no center and a ball full of phlegm. Not knowing that I'm a dog, a Rottweiler within. With the heart of a pit bull that don't bark for pretend. My bites cut deep, break the bone in the skin. With the level of hustlenomics you do not comprehend. So first I took the block down on the west side end, and then secured a spot with some goons and some kin. And then sent out some flyers, let the games begin. And in 6 months time, the city like that's him. Oh yeah, he the one that moved the hustle to the burbs. And yeah, he the one that knocked the hustlers off the curb. And yeah, he the one that set up shop without a word. And he the one that got it cracking, and all he did was rapping by the Hooters. I kept killers from being shooters. Put a mic in a thug's hand, now he loyal like Pats fans. Take a man off the streets past the needles and crack cans. Promise mama to keep him safe, then put some food in his face, and he'll kill for you. But I don't need him for that. Click like, click share, tell them bitches we back. Share the whole location, tell them niggas where we at. Cause we out here, we ain't the cheese, we the trap.